Good morning, students. Today we are going to be discussing regarding the topic climate of India. Now, before we begin discussing regarding the climate of India, I first of all want to discuss what is climate. So, climate refers to atmospheric changes over longer periods of time, usually 30 years or more. So, basically, climate is an basic or an average observation of weather for over a long period of time, that is 30 years or more. Now there are various factors which affect the climate of India. So the first factor which affects the climate of India is the latitudinal extent. Now India, as you know, is a vast country. It is also known as a subcontinent, and it has a vast latitudinal extent from 8 degree 4 minutes north to 37 degree 6 minutes north, with the Tropic of Cancer cutting across the country, that is 23.5 degrees north, passing through the middle of the country. Now the region lying north of the Tropic of Cancer experiences temperate climate exhibiting continental type of climatic conditions. Now what is the meaning of continental type of climatic conditions? That is areas which are not close to the sea or which do not have any influence of a large water body like an ocean or a sea. And the region which is below the Tropic of Cancer, that is in the southern portion, they experience a tropical kind of climate, that is an extreme type of climate or very hot climate, that is the Peninsula India. Alright, and next we are going to be discussing regarding the location of the Himalayas. Now you know that Himalayas are one of the greatest fold mountain systems of the world. It is a young fold mountain, and it is one of the very beautiful features of the Indian subcontinent. And Himalayas in general has very great height or altitude and a vast longitudinal and latitudinal extent, and they act as an effective barrier and climatic divide. During the summers, the Himalayas, they intercept the moisture laden southwest monsoon wind from the Arabian Sea and from the Bay of Bengal. The entire country receives monsoon rain from June to September. So it is during the summer monsoons, what happens is that the Himalayas act as a barrier. They trap the moisture, they trap the winds coming from southeast direction, as a result of which the entire Indian subcontinent receives rainfall during the monsoon. And similarly, in winters, the Himalayas prevent the inflow of the cold freezing winds coming in from Central Asia and Siberia, and they enter India, and the northern plains experience mild winter. So now the Himalayas act as a climatic barrier, as you can see in the diagram as well in the map, that during the winter monsoon it acts as a climatic barrier and it intercepts the cold freezing monsoon winds coming in from Siberia. Okay, next we are going to be discussing distance from the sea. Now places near the sea, as you know, they have a maritime or they have a continental type of climate, or we can also say that they have a moderate type of climate, because they come under the influence of land and sea breeze. And on the other hand, or on the contrary, places away from the land or from the sea have very hot or have a very hot or extreme type of climate or a continental type of climate. And the best example is Mumbai, which is located just next to the Arabian Sea, experiences a maritime or a moderate climate throughout the year, whereas Delhi, which is located in the interior region of India, experiences and continental type of climate or an extreme type of climate. By this I mean that they experiences extremely hot summers and extremely cold winters. Okay, now next we are going to be discussing regarding monsoon winds. Now monsoon winds is something that we all have studied, we all know about it. So monsoons are basically seasonal winds, and they blow from opposite directions 2 times a year. So we have 2 directions of the monsoon winds. First is the southwest monsoon winds, and second is the northeast monsoon winds, which are blowing in during the winter months. And what happens is that In summer, there is a formation of low pressure over the northern plains due to the apparent movement of the overhead sun and comparatively high pressure over the surrounding water bodies. And because of this, the southwest monsoons carry moisture and bring widespread rainfall over India between June and September. So during summers, because of the intense low pressure which is created in the landmass of the Indian subcontinent, it attracts the winds which is coming from the southwest direction, and as a result of which they carry moisture and there is widespread rainfall over India between June and September. Similarly, in winter, the temperature and pressure conditions are reversed. That means the temperature and pressure conditions are just the opposite. The high pressure forms over the northwestern part of the northern plain and comparatively low pressure exists over the water bodies. So as we all know that winds will always blow from high pressure to low pressure, and because of this, the cold dry air which is blowing from the northern plains towards the water bodies lying around peninsular India, it is able to pick up moisture from the Bay of Bengal and shed rain over Coromandel coast. Now Coromandel coast, as you know, lies on the eastern portion of the Indian subcontinent, and this wind is thus known as the northeast monsoon. So monsoon as a wind influences the climate of India to a large extent. Now next, coming to the El Nino and La Nina effect. Now what is El Nino? El Nino is basically, it is a cold ocean current flowing off the coast of Peru. Okay, so it is a cold ocean current which is blowing off the coast of Peru and in South, and obviously it is in South America, and the cold current, it brings nutrient rich waters. That means the quality of the water is very good throughout the year. So some years it flows during December, and this current is thus replaced temporarily by the warm El Nino. Okay, so El Nino is basically a warm current which replaces the cold current which is flowing off the coast of Peru. Now because of this warm current, it increases the sea surface temperatures by 10 degrees Celsius. That is a very prime point which is to be noted. And because of this El Nino, there are temperature, weather and climatic variations all over the world. Because of this, because it increases the sea surface temperatures by 10 degrees Celsius, it causes the rise in the temperatures. Okay, and appearance of the El Nino causes a weak monsoon and leads to drought in India. So drought is basically nothing, that is the absence of complete rainfall and dry and arid conditions. And because of El Nino, we have a weak monsoon and it leads to drought in India. Whereas a strong El Nino, on the other hand, will obviously cause a strong monsoon and heavy rainfall over the Indian subcontinent. So basically the weather and climatic conditions all over the world are reversed because of El Nino effect. Next, we are going to be discussing regarding western disturbances. So the weather conditions during winter, they are generally influenced by cyclones arising from the Mediterranean Sea. So during winter, the cyclones which occur in the Mediterranean Sea are basically known as western disturbances, and they bring rain to the northern plain and snow in western Himalayas, right? And next we are going to be discussing jet streams. So jet streams are basically nothing, they are upper air circulations in the atmosphere. So upper air circulation involves jet streams. They are high bands, they are bands of high velocity winds, and they blow horizontally through the upper layers of the troposphere. Okay, and it is very important, you need to remember that they blow horizontally over the upper layers of the troposphere. Now the westerly jet stream, they are responsible for subtropical jet streams, and they prevail over the northern Indian plains during winter months, and because of this it helps in the wheat production in Punjab, Haryana region. While the easterly jet streams steers the tropical depression over India in summer. So this basically means that because of the jet streams, there are depressions in India in summertime, and as a result of that we also receive rainfall, right? So with this we come to the end of the factors affecting the climate of India. Thank you very much.